Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Film Valor. We're just here today, Adam and I, to talk about something that we think is an interesting topic. And we're really just talking about actors in general. We actually had a friend of ours come up to us and ask us, what does it take to cast actors in a film? And as we've made more movies together, Adam and I, we've sort of honed into our own, methods. But also, we've learned from some mistakes too.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, what do you think as a producer of films, and definitely now feature films, what does it take to find the best actor, or what are the qualities, I should say, that actors have?
I think a couple qualities an actor needs in order to be successful, in order to just be a strong performance, is having a sense of teamwork. Yeah. I think there has to be a level of, throwing, how am I going to look the best? How am I going to do the best? Because what it really is, it's a team effort. And, what it is you want the actor to be almost like a team captain.
Yeah.
And you want them to, if your performance is good and your teammate's performance is bad, it doesn't help you as a team. And I think
that's a very good point.
You have to look at, okay, this is my comrade, this is my, fellow man or woman in arms. I want them to be the best, not just for me looking good, but just for the whole project looks good.
It's an excellent point. Yeah, that camaraderie is important, and it's not often, I would say, successfully achieved.
No, I'm not saying like be their best friend, or it's not that. It's just that I would say that a good, strong actor, especially a lead, needs to take charge of that and say, okay, if I could see something that I would do or give a little insight, give it to them.
Yeah,
there's some things just that between actors might get.
Yes.
And you want that to really hit home and really hit hard, because if you see someone struggling, you could and the answer. It's not good. It's not a good sense of teamwork.
Yeah, and that also, I think he brings up a good point that makes me think about something. A word I would hone into is also definitely responsibility, right? And to his point, then he can elaborate on the rest of his points as producer. But just seizing on that as something that's very important. It's by an extension of that, it's really nice when an actor takes responsibility for a film. Doesn't mean they take control of the film. There's a very big difference, and that can happen too, which you got to be mindful of. But they take responsibility for the film, which often means that they're trying to, achieve the goals of the producer and director. But let's continue on your track.
Yeah, and I mean, another thing that goes along with, as you just said, is having a sense of responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
In taking the reins and being that team captain, especially if you're the lead. You have to set an example for everyone else there. Every other actor there.
You could say good point actually. You can also argue even the crew. Even the crew.
Yeah, no, that could be true. I mean, even with the crew, you want the crew to believe, okay, I got someone here that knows what they're doing. They're helping out as much as they can. They're putting out 110% of what they could give, and that and you want to feel motivated by that. I think definitely with the crew, you're right. Crew and fellow actors, you need to, just you have to set the bar.
Yeah.
But not for your ego or anything,
Right, yeah, that's a good point.
You really have to be selfless with it.
Yeah.
Even though, you're dealing with an actor who probably is thinking about my performance, how do I look? How am I gonna seem like I know what I'm doing, or how do I, do this or that? Just take I out of it and just put we into it, and I think that's a sign of a good actor, and especially a good lead actor. And
I'll say
a lot of good qualities.
As a director, what's interesting about and scary, and I sometimes tell a lot of people this story, especially people who have not been on film sets. There have been times when I've been directing, and you almost immediately notice if you go around, let's just say, a table of actors and ask them, okay, what's going on, guys? How do we get on the same page? I would say more often than not, you're going to get the answer of, well, I'm in this moment and I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm doing this. You sort of suddenly realize, to your horror as a director, that they're not oftentimes inclined to think about what the next person is doing. Doesn't mean they don't, but that's what we're saying. That's the difference between, I would say, really a great actor, somebody who's able to carry a lead, somebody who has a sense of obligation or responsibility to the film. They're not a slave to it, but they're responsible for it and making it better. They're more conscious of the fact that the person next to them is having their moment also in the sequence.
Right.
But that's an interesting point, just off of something I've seen that goes to what you're saying. What would you also say?
Honestly, I would say try to be as humble as you could be.
Yeah,
You know?
I think that goes for all aspects of filmmaking.
Yeah,
if you could
just
be that way
really,
as a producer, director,
be humble, be honest.
the gaffer.
Yeah. And I think also, if you need to speak up when you need to speak up, speak up. I think what you need to do is set an example for everyone there. It's the director's job and the producer's job is very much that way. But we do that on the other side of the camera.
Right. Yeah.
We do that with contracts. It could be timing. It could be just getting something on set. On time. But I think in terms of the creativeness, to a certain point, there has to be the actors and especially the lead saying, okay, as you just said, where do I stand and where did they stand in this whole thing?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense. Like if I'm going to make this metaphor, like you're a football team and you're the quarterback and you tell each individual person, okay, you're gonna run up and go and shoot right or whatever.
Yeah.
Eventually, that person will do their job, but what does he know about the other people?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He doesn't know what the other person's going to do,
It's
and that's
a blindness for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just communicating, just really just communicate everything that you can, because because as you said, people get wrapped up into what am I doing, and it'll fall apart. You really have to have like a 360 scope on your surroundings.
Yes.
And it doesn't only pertain to you.
And it's tricky on a film set because a lot of what filmmaking is sometimes unfortunately boiled down to is a lot of hyper focus. You have people who specifically do one thing, which is actually why we like crews that wear lots of hats, because for us to say, I'm not going to make a prop because I'm the director, to me seems ridiculous. So it would be the same thing of saying, if an actor is able to lend, even another good example of that is they don't have to go pick up the lights and move them, because that could be considered a little crazy in some realms, or maybe they're just an older person that can't do that, and I respect that too. Something like that. But the point is that if they can give, through communication, a level of input, input is actually very important, and what an actor who's a little bit more seasoned will realize is the fine line between challenging the filmmaker, challenging the director, challenging the producer in an attempt at intimidation, or maybe they don't have that ability to communicate. There's a very fine line between that and saying, guys, can we try a take where we do this? When you're in a high pressure, time-oriented situation, it is sometimes very difficult, and some personalities don't lend to this. So this is why we wanted to talk a little bit about for people that ask us, especially actors.
Yeah.
What do we look for in people? And it is very difficult to find.
And we've seen that a lot. You guys, are up on entertainment news, not the channel, or whatever, but just on entertainment. There has been a couple of people, in the Hollywood limelight, or the famous people who had lead roles or whatever, and they didn't really take the reins on it.
Yeah, we've seen definitely recent examples of this.
Yeah, I mean, to be more specific, we were talking about Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, we have some interesting examples in Batman, actually, right now.
I mean, he doesn't really want to do the workout routine. And it's, I mean...
Which is really weird.
Yeah, and honestly, if I was a producer, I would say, look, this might be boring to you. You might not want to do this, but look who you're playing, buddy.
Yeah.
You're playing a character that every young boy wants to be.
Yeah.
You know, and some even adults too.
Yeah.
They still want to be Batman, and you have the greatest opportunity to do that, and you don't want to do your part. And that's for me is you know, I think there's a little too much entitlement. You know, and I could go on for
there
this
certainly
for a
can be.
while. But,
And I think we should qualify this by saying we do believe those rumors are true, because that's what we're hearing. There could also be the event that they're not true. But if they are true, and they seem to be,
no, it seems to be.
they very much seem to be. So just to be fair to him, I mean, we might be proven wrong on that, but
I'd like to be proven
we'd
wrong.
love to be proven wrong. But the point is that that type of mentality doesn't lend to good teamwork, and it doesn't lend to taking up the mantle of being. Let's forget about being Batman, which is a very heightened sense of this.
No, but those are the characters.
Those are the characteristics of, but also of just being a lead actor.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
What is it to be a lead actor?
These are our thoughts on actors and what it means to be a lead actor. Well, thank you for watching Film Valor. We hope you like this show. If you do like it, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.